The home of Gretl Uhl on Hallam Street is an outpost of light and friendship in Aspen's quiet West End. Gretl is one of those people from whom warmth and comfort emanate, and many think of her as their best friend. We need only to leaf through Gretl's photo album to return to an extraordinary era in Aspen history, which Gretl helped shape. Gretl was born in 1923 in Bartholz and raised in Partenkirchen, Bavaria. Her parents, Anton and Marguerite Hartl, were successful restaurant owners. As we all know, they were frustrated in their attempt to keep Gretl out of the family business.
I really think that this was the beginning of my interest in cooking, because we were not allowed in the kitchen.
For her daughters Gretl and Dolly, Marguerite had strict ideas about propriety, discipline, and fashion.
You see that we were always dressed alike. We were always like twins, which we disliked immensely.
The Café Hartl was a beautiful chalet nestled at the bottom of Partenkirchen's jumping hill. Gretl was the one who grew up to love skiing, while Dolly kept to sledding. Her parents disapproved of proper girls learning to ski, and did not allow Gretl to attend racer training. Of course, the forbidden was irresistible to Gretl, and she developed a love of speed.
I was a very rebellious person. When I went to my first races, I sneaked out by letting the skis out my bedroom window, jumped after them, and then just took off.
It turns out she was a strong talent. She was a top ski racer and always took second or third. She says she only won the ski race if her friend Meryl Buchner-Fischer was sick. Had Germany been allowed to participate in the 1940 Olympics, Gretl and Meryl would have been on the team. Through her ski club, she met Sepp Uhl, a young man from Garmisch. But a suitor for Gretl had already been picked out by her mother, so a union with Sepp was impossible and inevitable. Gretl's will proved strong, and the two were married in 1948. In post-war Germany, there was little opportunity for a young couple, until they found hope in a film about the new frontier of skiing.
And then we saw Dick Durance's movie, and we said, gosh, we wish we could ski there.
Following their new dream, they packed up and moved to Aspen with their daughter Renate in 1953.
I loved Aspen from the first moment we arrived. We made friends so fast.
Once in Aspen, both Sepp and Gretl joined the ski school. Sepp became a ski school supervisor, and Gretl became one of the most sought-after instructors. A year after their arrival, their son Tony was born. The Uhls rapidly became part of Aspen's ski scene, and both Gretl and Sepp resumed ski racing with top results. For these mountain people, Aspen was the perfect match. It was a good life with good friends. In 1966, Gretl decided she could not teach skiing forever, so she impulsively asked Darcy Brown if she could run the next restaurant to open on Aspen Mountain.
I set my mind to it, that I would change this situation on mountain restaurants.
The next season, Gretl's Turtelot restaurant opened, with a new concept in ski area cuisine. Instead of the usual hot dogs and hamburgers, Gretl served homemade Bavarian food and other mountain delicacies.
I cooked absolutely the food I liked, and also the soups I liked. I made liver spatzel or liver dumpling soup, which turned out to be a bestseller.
Gretl hired many of her best friends to work the lines at the restaurant. Of course, their friends would stop in to have lunch during the ski day, and Gretl's rapidly became the locals' favorite.
And when the first people who were from Red Mountain came walking in the morning, they absolutely stopped dead in their trucks and just said, "Where are we? Is this a restaurant or is that the PTA?"
She became legendary for the loyalty of her hard-working employees, for whom she set the example.
As long as the owner of the restaurant doesn't shy away from work, the people will do the same.
A job at Gretl's was a prize, and there was a long waiting list for the overqualified. It was typical that the dishwashers and prep cooks would have advanced degrees. One day, Gretl made her staff an apple strudel as a treat. They insisted that she put it on the menu. Very quickly, sales volume became so great that she had to improvise a pizza machine to make strudel dough. and she installed a mechanical apple peeler to process 200 pounds of apples that became apple strudel every day. Her strudel became famous, even in Bavaria. Skiers from around the world would come in every day to see what was new on the menu, but they also came for the comfort of finding friends. Gretl's restaurant was the happening place for well over a decade, and Gretl became sought after as a consultant to ski area restaurants around the country. She demonstrated that good food was good business and good fun. After 14 years running Gretl's restaurant, she was given a lease she would not sign, and the era of Gretl's restaurant came to a sorry close.
When I quit up there, I had a list of 64 people who had applied for a job in case I go back into it again.
Gretl's friend Bonnie Brucker stepped in, and the restaurant carries her name today. A testament of her dedication to her friends is that Gretl still communicates frequently with people from decades ago, even with her kindergarten class of 1928 and with her ski club. Her extended family includes countless former employees and customers from around the world. And remember Meryl Buchner Fisher? She and Gretl are still great friends. The remarkable thing about Gretl is that many who have known her think of her as their best friend, and they are right. Gretl makes everyone she meets feel special. She has helped young Aspenites get started in business, volunteered locally, and entertained us around her kitchen table at afternoon tea for decades. For all of us who have been fed, sponsored, encouraged, out-skied, and touched by her smile, Gretl will always be in our hearts. She is Aspen's best friend.